Hi, everyone. Dr. Liz here. Welcome to the Hypnotize Me podcast. I'm glad you're here, glad you're listening and learning, and hopefully it will help you with your journey along the way. I am a psychotherapist with a specialty in anxiety, insomnia, and deeper emotional healing. Hypnosis is one of the tools in my toolbox that I use to help people feel better and to help people be better. I do work all over the world. Please feel free to reach out and contact me if you would like some help. I've been an entrepreneur for most of my adult life, built an award-winning company, sold it, and then focused mainly on my private practice. That gives you a unique perspective, especially my ability to work with people in business at all kinds of levels. Before I go, if you'd like to support the podcast, you can go and subscribe to the newsletter. And you'll get free hypnosis downloads that you can listen to immediately. Another way is to buy one of the downloads that I have for sale. I only have a couple up there, but they're good ones. They've stood the test of time. I made the decision to not run ads during my podcast because I really do see it as an act of service. I completely respect people who do have ads on their podcast, but it's just not my path. All right, everyone, enjoy the episode. And I hope to see you back here soon. Hey everyone, Dr. Liz here. The podcast has been on a bit of a break because I moved from South Florida, the Fort Lauderdale area, which is just north of Miami, to North Florida, Jacksonville, which is right south of Georgia. So it's been a huge move for me. I'd been in South Florida 30 plus years. And so this was a big change I was making. So the last couple of weeks, I've been unpacking at my old house, unpacking in the new house, setting up the home office. I found it was quite echoey. So I had to order some acoustic tiles to put on the walls and carpet for the floor and try to make it to where it was not so echoey when I recorded. I really thought I might have to record in my closet, which a lot of podcasters do. That would not really be a problem, but it is more convenient to be able to record at my desk rather than the closet. So the interview today is with Dr. Navidi, who is a specialist in hypnosis for GI disorders, functional abdominal pain, IBS. We have a great conversation because I've been doing hypnosis for IBS, abdominal functional pain, reflux, those types of disorders for probably 5 years now, maybe 6, maybe a little bit longer than that. I'm not sure. It's not a huge percentage of my practice, but I definitely have people that come in for it from time to time. Right now, I'm all virtual, but in the past, it's been in person as well. But it's always an interesting part of my practice, and I love helping people that way. And his whole practice is focused on that. He has quite a large practice, and they see people in all 50 states, which is fantastic. And they see adults and children and adolescents, which is also great. I only see adults. So what a great resource. So we talk about all kinds of stuff during this interview, like what types of hypnosis to do and when to seek treatment with hypnosis. That's always a big question. Like, when do you try that? Often it's when people have tried everything else. Sometimes they come in a little bit earlier than that. One patient I had is referred by the head of Stanford's clinic because it's such a reputable treatment, hypnosis for IBS. But often you'll run into GI specialists who just poo-poo it, who quote unquote don't believe in it. And it's like, look, hypnosis is not a faith-based medicine. It is well researched. And someone doesn't have to believe in hypnosis for it to work either. So anyway, occasionally you run into doctors like that. The more knowledgeable ones typically recommend hypnosis as part of someone's treatment. I've talked way too long today, so let's jump into the interview. I hope you're healthy and safe. Peace. Hi, Dr. Navidi. Welcome to the Hypnotize Me podcast.
Hi, good to meet you. I'm glad to be here. I'm always happy to talk hypnosis with someone.
Yep, me too. Me too. It's always a fascinating conversation, I will say. So, we're going to just start with how you first became a psychologist and then also how you started doing hypnosis.
Yeah, so I was a microbiology major,
Really?
and then I did biotech work for a few years at a couple companies. I remember I was doing yeast exocytosis research. Yeah,
I don't even know what that is really. Yeah,
I
I'm
don't even
thinking
think
you don't either.
I don't even think I know what it is anymore either. I think it had something to do with a vesicle or something. Anyway, um, luckily, I was about to go and do like a PhD in biochemistry
Mhm.
because I just didn't want to be a lab monkey for the rest
Yeah.
of my life. You got to get your PhD. So luckily, I've got a wife that's a lot smarter than me, and she kind of sat me down and was like, "Look, you might want to consider doing something you actually really are passionate about."
Mm.
And she knew I was just constantly reading books about hypnosis, about
Mm.
psychology, and just practicing on anyone around me. So luckily I listened to her, and long story short, I shifted over and now I'm a clinical psychologist.
Wonderful. So I know for me going through grad school, I didn't actually discover hypnosis until, I don't know, like 20 years out of grad school, actually. So
Oh
it
wow.
sounds like for you, it happened before you went to grad school.
Yeah, it was interesting. If I when I think back, I think as a teenager, I found this like I just remember it was like this little black book, and it was
Hmm.
old school hypnosis, like really directive stuff.
Uh-huh.
Probably was written in maybe the 60s or 70s, and it was a family vacation, and I got all my cousins and my sisters together, and one by one, I just tried the stuff in the book, just just for the heck of
Hysterical,
it.
huh?
Yeah, just for the heck of it. And it worked on some and it didn't work on others, but that was probably my first experience with it.
That is
Um,
funny. Yeah.
yeah.
And did you go to a program that taught hypnosis? Like mine didn't even, there was not a class. I know there wasn't a class
No,
on it.
no,
No.
no, not at all. Not at all. In
Okay.
fact, my first internship, it was interesting. Um, I wasn't like the supervisor, he actually was trained in hypnosis and told me that I wasn't allowed to do hypnosis.
Yeah, probably. Right. Because there's
Yeah.
all kinds of regulations around it for
And I mean,
psychologists. There's actually
I was
more for psychologists than there are someone who doesn't have a degree. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who doesn't have a degree can just do a weekend training
Yep.
and like put out a shingle.
Right.
Um, but no, so I got involved with the American Society for Clinical Hypnosis,
Hmm.
ASH.
Ash. Yeah.
I saw that you also
Yeah.
have been associated with them, and they do